You ever met someone, asked for their name, forgotten it just a moment later? Have you ever gone and parked your car only to come back hours later and not even have a single clue where you put it? You ever walked into your house, tossed your keys, and right when you were in a rush to leave the house again, you could not for the life of you remember where you put those keys? Or what about an appointment or an anniversary or a state capitol that you knew, but you just couldn't pull it up out of your memory? All these kinds of memory blunders are all too common. But they don't have to be. I have an average memory. That's what I would have said about my memory about 12 years ago. But sadly, my grandmother passed away from Alzheimer's disease, and the loss really inspired me to research and learn about memory and memory techniques. What I discovered is that memory is actually something that can be changed. It can be molded. With the right tips and strategies, you can actually have a memory that's way better than you think you have. I had always thought that memory was fixed. You were given what you were given, that was that. But I quickly discovered that there were these memory championships, these quirky memory competitions where people would come together, supposedly average people with average memories. They would come together and do these phenomenal feats of memory, memorizing packs of cards in under 30 seconds, memorizing hundreds of digits in just minutes, memorizing pages and pages of people's faces and names, stuff that was reserved, so I thought, for savants or people with photographic memories. But no, these were just average people who claimed to have average memories, and they all had kind of a similar story. They didn't have a good memory before, they learned some memory techniques, practiced, and there they were at these competitions, winning them or breaking records. Needless to say, my interest was piqued, and just a few short years later, I found myself as a 5-time USA memory champion, having won it myself, broken numerous memory records, as well as becoming a grandmaster of memory. So in my opinion, memory is the most important skill you can master in the 21st century. And believe it or not, thousands of years ago, these techniques were highly developed. Many people knew how to do them. In fact, having a good memory was synonymous with being intelligent, being useful, being powerful. All these things have to do with having a good memory. So it was very important to have it. Back then, most people cultivated this skill of having a good memory. Since then, it's been lost. We have a lot of devices, our computers, our smartphones, that take the place of our memories. So in the process, we've actually lost the ability to do a lot of these things that were commonplace hundreds, thousands of years ago. Which brings me to a question. Nowadays, do we really need a powerful memory? And to me, the answer is a resounding yes. Having a good memory is becoming more and more of an important skill in this day and age. For one, all of the devices out there are making our brains less capable. So having a good memory is a great way to kind of ignite that cognitive function that you used to have. It's also a way to keep your mind young and to slow down its aging process. Not only that, it's really nice to not have to rely on technology, knowing that this supercomputer in your head can do everything for you. Now, a small disclaimer. Does it mean that you can learn these techniques and master them overnight? Well, it depends. And it depends on the person, it depends on their work ethic. But the important thing to note is that memory is a skill. And compared to any other skill that you may want to learn, sure, there may be techniques to get you very far in the beginning, but if you really want to master that skill, what do you have to do? You have to put in the work, you have to put in the effort to master that skill, to really take that skill that you're trying to learn to the next level. And memory is no different. Now, what I will say about memory techniques is that most people don't know what a memory technique is. So just learning the basics will already take your memory to an above average level. And then if you want to take it really to the next level and then the next, that's where the practice comes in. But don't worry. That is what I'm here for. That is what I am sharing with you in this course. It is how to, first of all, learn those techniques and take your memory to this level, but also how to push past that so that it helps you improve your memory continuously for the rest of your life. And what my goal is to give you the techniques and the strategies to expand on that so that it impacts your life in a radical way. For the better, of course. So let me put this out there. If you're serious about taking your memory to the next level and you're willing to put in a bit of work, and I hope you are, because I hope you value or understand what having a good memory could potentially mean for your life, then the sky's the limit as how far your memory can grow and improve. All right, now that we have that out of the way, here's what I can guarantee in this course. This course is Everything that I've ever figured out, spent time on, tried, but it didn't work, all of that is in this course. It's an extension of me and my journey over the last 12 years to becoming a memory champion, to becoming a full-time memory coach and memory expert. All of that knowledge that I've accumulated over the years is in this course, and it's here to help you. And on top of that, I really honestly believe that it's some of the best memory improvement content out there. I'll be 100% straight up with you. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not some self-help guru. I'm not a psychologist. I am the guy who is in the trenches, really using these techniques, figuring out the ins and outs, and pushing it to levels that, the majority of the world don't get to access. It's a fresh take on memory techniques from me, 100% up to date, and it's backed by a memory champion. I believe that if there is a program that's going to help you master your memory, this is the one. And like I said before, this isn't just about teaching you the memory techniques. That's a part of it for sure, but it's also how to take those techniques, build out a training plan so that once you're finished with the course, you can continue on by yourself. You'll know how to do that because I've coached you how to do that. You've seen how I've trained you, and you can take that into the rest of your life so that your memory is constantly growing. It shouldn't stop when the course stops. All right, let's talk about what you're getting. What's in this course? So now, for years, people have asked me, where is your course? And I just said, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever gonna do one. I don't have the time. I worked on other things. I did a lot of private one-on-one coaching. I still do that. But then I realized, my ultimate goal in reality is to get this out to as many people as possible. And one way I could do that is to coach more people. And by coaching more people, obviously I only have so many hours, I gotta make a course so that I'm more available to more people. So I finally got to work, I put my head down, made this course, and here we are today. So here it is, it's years of work that I've done behind the scenes, all packed into this course for you that's designed to help you become knowledgeable on memory techniques, to help you push your brain to the next level, to help your brain get healthier, to help you reprioritize what memory means to you in your life so that you can master your memory for life. I mean, anyone who wants to learn what I do and how I do it exactly, this is the class. This is what it is. And one of my favorite kind of takeaways about memory techniques is that it will make your life more memorable. At least the way I teach it, my methodology, my vision of memory techniques is all directed around how can you live a more memorable life? How can you make it more memorable? How can you remember more of it? Those were broad strokes. Let's talk about the specifics in this course. So there will be 6 modules. Module 1 will cover an introduction and kind of setup to what's going to happen in this course, getting started with memory techniques and brain training, some myths that you need to forget, 3 important words you need to remember to memorize anything, a baseline memory test to see where you're at, constructing your why, strategies to keep your memory training in check, and a memory session where you memorize with me. All right, the second module, priming your brain, getting your brain ready to memorize something. So killing that inner voice that says you have a bad memory, creating a mantra to supercharge your memory, my hacks for paying more attention, and then we'll cover a few things that are quick and easy, how to remember them, how to remember where you place your wallet or your keys, how to stop struggling to remember why you walked in a room. That can happen sometimes. Tips for remembering your life events, life tracking and life hacking. Make your life and day-to-day forgetful proof. How to memorize where you parked your car every single time. And some breathing techniques and how they factor into your memory. Module 3, 4, and 5, we're going to go into those 3 special words that I want you to remember that will help you memorize anything, and that is see, link, go. That's my quick and easy method to memorize anything. Obviously, there's a lot of pieces to each of those 3 parts, but in its basic form, it's pretty simple. So module 3, we'll talk about that first step, see. We'll do some mental exercises, why we remember pictures better, using all of the senses, using emotions, actions, how you can still forget and how to fix that. We'll basically talk about how to visualize things, the ins and outs of that, what's the best way to do it, what's the proven way to do it, and what's the wrong way to do it. Module 4, we'll talk about the link step, which is basically storage. How do you store this information? And this is where there's a ton of different strategies on how to do that. We'll cover the linking system, we'll talk about the story method, we'll talk about my left hand, right hand side method, we'll talk about the peg method, and then we'll talk about memory palaces, which to me is one of the best techniques to memorize anything. We'll talk about how to manage your memory palaces, how to come up with good ones, bad ones, all those ins and outs as well. Then module 5, we'll get into the go step, which I'll first define what go means, and then we'll talk about short-term versus long-term memory, how to keep things for longer, how to really take the stuff you're memorizing and go with it so that it lasts well into your life. So reviewing, spaced repetition, interleaving. We'll talk about procedural memory and procedural memory hacks to help you remember more. We'll talk about sleep, stress, food, diet, exercise, and then finally we'll talk about how to set up your own training plan. And then finally we'll finish with module 6, which is basically going to be a list of how-tos. So we've covered all the basics. You know all there is to know about memory techniques. Now we're going to get into specific strategies for specific things. We'll talk about names, we'll talk about speeches, we'll talk about numbers, we'll talk about playing cards, we'll talk about dates and calendars, appointments, anniversaries, foreign languages, and then we'll kind of bring it back to reality and practicalness, how you could apply all these things to things you have to memorize on the fly in day-to-day life. Then there'll be a short little module at the end of that just to conclude, wrap everything up, do a final test of your memory, and a thank you and goodbye. And that'll wrap it up.
One thing I want to add here is that, this course is constantly being adjusted and improved upon. So while I'm going over kind of the basics here, every time I release this course, I'm actually adding more and fine-tuning things. So there may be actually more that I'm going over here in this video. So always check the sales page for the most current outline of what I'm offering.
So at this point, I know what you might be thinking. Something like, hey Nelson, I've done a memory course before, or I've seen other guys, other self-help gurus talk about memory techniques and their program that will help me have an amazing memory. What's the difference? What are you offering that's different? That's a fair question, you're right. But I will tell you this right now, none of those people are 4-time USA memory champions. What I said before, I've really been in the trenches. I've done the work that a lot of these guys have not. And also, I think what separates this course from other ones is the end goal. I feel like a lot of other courses out there, you sit through the program, they teach you the stuff, that's it. You're on your way. And I've met a lot of people who have told me, oh, I took this memory course years ago. Yet they're contacting me for more help. So clearly, those techniques didn't stick. Why? For me, I want to give you the fundamentals of those memory techniques, right? I want you to have those, but I also want to develop something that will last with you for the rest of your life, that you can continue to work on past the age of this course. And then finally, I said this before, I want your life to be memorable. I want you to go through life and at certain points think back and be like, you know what? I remember my experiences better. Things are more rich to me now. I go to events, I go to meetings, I have vacations, and I remember more out of them because of these techniques that I've learned and that I've trained. So you get all that. I'm going to throw in some bonuses that have quite a bit of value, and you'll get those free for signing up. So you'll get access to a private community where you can talk with others in this course. You can post questions. I can see those and answer and interact with you guys as well. I'll be doing some live group calls during the 6-week cycle of this course. There'll also be a series of interviews I've done with a number of memory experts and memory champions and neuroscientists. I think you're going to love that. You'll get an extra fresh perspective from other experts in the field. And then you'll get a collection of some of my templates and PDFs that have things that will help set you up for mastering your memory for life. So you're interested. You want to get this course. You want to have that Swiss Army mental memory power in your head. What do you do next? It's very simple. Scroll down to the bottom of this page, sign up for the course. And if you're on the fence, ask yourself this question. If you could remember your life better, how much would that be worth to you? To me, it's a no-brainer. It has no cost. It's invaluable. So once you sign up for the course, you'll get some emails from me to kind of get things going, to get you started on the platform so you can start watching the videos of the first module, and you'll get access to the channel, and you'll get rolling right away. You'll get access to the bonus stuff as well. And just so you know, there's going to be over 7 hours of content here.
And again, this number is constantly growing. So if you purchase the course, you have access to it for the rest of your life, and you have access to any subsequent iterations of this course. I'm always trying to improve it, so you will gain from that over the years.
And don't worry, a lot of those videos are smaller, so they're these little bite-sized chunks that you can do in little increments as you go along. So if you feel like this course is right for you, please sign up. I'd love to see you in the class. For me, memory techniques have literally changed my life, and I hope that they can change yours as well. I hope to see you in the course. Thanks for listening, and I'll leave you with this. Memories are everything. Without them, we are nothing.